When the sun has set on a Friday night, bringing peace into your home, families will gather all around singing Shabbat Shalom. Everybody sing Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, Shalom. Is a gift from God to put a smile upon your face. He's got the whole world in his hands, so obey his commands and you will know peace. Shalom, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin this week outside to greet the Sabbath bride. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. La 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor bezachor bedibur echad. Hishmiyanu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Leshem u'tilferat tilitchila. La 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavati la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha u'sahala, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat likrat kala pene pene Shabbat nekabela. For those of you who don't know, this is my oldest child, Holden, and I love singing with you for Shabbat. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Hi, Minnie. And this is our one and only Pupala, and her name is Minnie, and she's getting a little older. She's kind of not as energetic. She's falling asleep while I'm talking to her. Anyway, we're so glad to be with you for Shabbat. I'm going to sing a couple more songs. Let's see. How about Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, behold, there's goodness. There's goodness in being together for Shabbat. We don't all want to be separated. Maybe we have to be physically distant sometime, but it's togetherness that we seek because we are forever a community. And I'm thinking of this old melody where there's a repeat. So I'm going to say hine and you'll say hine and I'll say matov and Holden will help you with the echo. Are you ready? Here we go. Hine, matov, uma, naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine, matov, uma, naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine, matov, uma, naim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
We learned it differently.
We did learn it differently. We're going to sing one more song for you that is just a very spiritual reflection about the earth and the waters and the heavens and our own souls, and Shabbat being a time where we connect to the universe and separate ourselves from the mundane things that don't really matter, the things that bother us or annoy us, and live the way that Abraham Joshua Heschel said on Shabbat, kind of in a state of awe for what is in the world. Adama v'shamayim chom ha'esh tzil ha'mayim ani margish zo begufi beruchi benishmati Adama v'shamayim chom ha'esh tzil ha'mayim ani margish zo begufi beruchi benishmati. Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, 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 ho. Hey ya, 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 ho. Adama v'shamayim chom ha'esh tzil ha'mayim ani margish zo begufi beruchi benishmati. I'll go after you. Adama v'shamayim chom ha'esh tzil ha'mayim ani margish zo begufi beruchi benishmati. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, 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 oh. Hey ya, 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 oh. Makes me want to take a very deep breath. Let's take a very deep breath together. One more time. I don't know if Minnie did it. She was kind of sleeping. What do you think, Holden?
I'm not sure. It's hard to tell.
Holden and Minnie, thank you so much for joining us for Shabbat.
Of course. We will see you soon.
I have a story that I would like to tell you on this Shabbat. Once upon a time, there was a man who was very poor, and he became a beggar. But he came upon a particular town that was very, very, let's say, miserly. He would go to the different residents and say, hey, buddy, can you help me out? Can you give me something to eat? And they would not even respond. They would just eschew him. He became so desperate that he started to knock on people's doors, and he would say, please, please give me something to eat. But they would insult him and slam the door in his face. Very desperate, he went to the center of town because he had an idea. He said, ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise. I'm a magician, and I can make delicious soup out of one single stone. One single stone, people said, that's ridiculous. He said, well, do you have a stone? And someone said, I guess, and they tossed him a little rock. He held in his hand, he said, well, if I'm going to make soup, I need a pot. can I borrow a pot from somebody? Someone said, I have a pot. They went and they brought a pot. He took the stone. He said, ladies and gentlemen, watch as I take this stone and put it in the pot. And he said, well, actually, my friends, you can't make soup without water. Okay, I just need some water to go on the stone. Does anybody have some water? Someone said, I have water. Another person said, I have water. And they brought pitchers of water and they poured it into this large pot. Well, then he said, well, my friends, one more thing. I mean, naturally, I can't make soup if I don't have fire. Does anybody have any firewood? I got firewood. I got firewood. I got fire. And they brought firewood and they lit a fire and he set it up so that he could put the pot on the fire. He said, well, you know, I really can't make the soup if I don't have a ladle. I got a ladle, and they came and they brought him a ladle. So he took the ladle and he stirred the stone and the water inside the pot. And he said, ooh, it's already starting to smell delicious. Ah, this is going to be great. Friends, you should go get bowls. I'll be able to serve it to you in just a few moments. But let me just tell you, this is regular stone soup. If you want this stone soup to be extra special, it'd be fantastic to add a little bit of celery. Does anyone happen to have celery? Someone said, I have celery, and they came and they brought celery. And he put a bunch of celery in the soup. He was stirring it around. And then he said, you know, my friends, this will be very good, especially with the celery, but if you want it to be much better, let me just recommend a little bit of carrots should do the trick. I got carrots, and they came and brought carrots, and he put it inside of the water, and he was stirring it around. And he said, look, it's not necessary, but if you really want stone soup to have a little kick, it's fantastic to put in an onion or two. I've got an onion, they said, and they brought him onions. And he was stirring the stone and the vegetables. He said, does anybody have parsley? I mean, it's not necessary, but Italian parsley, American parsley, doesn't matter what kind, just gives it that little extra, you know. I've got parsley, and they brought him parsley. Put it in, and he said, by the way, I'm not really a salt guy, but a lot of people like salt and pepper in their stone soup. If you want salt and pepper in the stone soup, please bring it. And they did, and he put it in. And he was stirring it around, and finally he said, listen, vegetarian stone soup is absolutely fantastico delicious. But if you want classic stone soup, I think you want to add a little bit of chicken. I've got chicken, they said, and they brought chicken. And he said, that's fantastic. He put it in the pot, stirred it around for an hour, said, my friends, the stone soup is complete. Please bring your bowls and let's share. And he filled a bowl for all the people in the village. And then he said, hey, does anybody have a little bowl? I might want to partake too. And they said, I've got a bowl. And they gave him a bowl. And he ate and he enjoyed his stone soup. I love that story. And I also love soup. And I know that many of you love soup, and especially on Shabbat, chicken soup. Now, the chicken soup at the Los Angeles Jewish home is fantastic, and so are the matzo balls. So I thought it might be fun if I made chicken soup for you today. But before doing that, I decided that I would go to some of you and get your advice on what makes chicken soup really, really just right. And I got a lot of input from many of you, and some of you I even recorded. So take a listen. What is the secret to making excellent chicken soup?
I would add a little chicken broth to the rest of the ingredients.
How come?
To give it a little more substance.
Chicken soup is made with good onion, carrots, and chicken.
What makes one person's chicken soup better than someone else's?
The chicken.
It's all about the chicken?
It's all about the chicken.
So, what do you think is the secret to making excellent chicken soup?
A good, raw, fresh roasting chicken with carrots and celery and parsley and several other vegetables you want to put in.
Carrots, parsnip, and you just cut it in lengthwise, or you want to chop it up. It's up to you, your preference. And then you take a cheesecloth and you put in the Italian parsley and some dill.
Do you make chicken soup?
Never. I only eat it.
And what is the secret to the best chicken soup?
The chicken and the noodles and the rice.
Well, welcome to my kitchen. I'm so happy to be with you to make chicken soup. Now, the way we're going to start out is I've got this package of chicken, and I, of course, as you would have, I'm sure, I got a whole entire chicken. So I'm going to pull that out right now for you. I've got one wing. I've got a thigh. I've got another thigh. By the way, I'm not dropping it on the floor. I'm dropping it into a pot. I have got, one second. Is this a breast? Oh, wow, that's a huge chicken breast. I've got the other breast. Oh, look, it's connected to the neck. My mother always says the neck gives it the best flavor. And many of you have told me that as well. I've got one leg. I've got another leg. And I have got the other wing. Now, there are a lot of different ways to make chicken soup. And you can spice it up. You can use this much chicken, that much chicken. But I was taught that if you put extra chicken in, it's going to be that much more flavorful. So guess what I did? In addition to the entire chicken, I got one little pack of drumsticks. Now, that works out really well in my family anyway, because my family loves the drumsticks. So I got 1, 2. By the way, these are not very large. 3, 4, 5. Oh, that has a lot of skin. That's okay. And 6. And so what are we going to do next? Next, we're going to pour water in. Here's my pot. And there's the chicken in the pot. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to put water in. So here I go. Whoops. Here we go. Let's put a little bit more water in. I'm right here. I've heard you put in just enough water to cover the chicken, but I don't know, maybe a little bit more, because I'm trying to make quite a big pot of soup, and I want to make sure that there's plenty of water for the vegetables as well. Now for the next step, and let me show you the chicken in the pot. For the next step, I'm going to turn on the fire, and let's see what happens. Well, we always boil the chicken first, and then it gets that weird schmutzy foamy stuff on top. I've never understood it, but I'm going to show it to you. You see the schmutzy foam? So I'm going to remove it right now. I have a special schmutzy foam remover, and I'm going to take some of that out right now, just because who wants that in your soup, right? All right. I keep taking it out. Wow, there's a lot of foam. Look at that. And we're not talking about schmaltz. This is not schmaltz. It's this weird foam that I've never quite understood. Well, now that we have gotten all of the schmutz out of the soup and the soup is clear with the chicken in it, here comes the fun part. Now, I start with the onion, but my mom always says, if you're going to put in 1 onion, why not put 2 onions in? I mean, it just enhances the flavor. I totally agree. I worry a little that it'll make the soup too sweet, but it's really the carrots, as you've taught me, that can make the soup too sweet. Next, we have the parsnip and the turnip. Now, I don't remember my mom using these when I was a kid, but when I lived in New York, there was a kosher butcher named Mazur's in Queens, and they put parsnip and turnip in every single one of their little, chicken soup kits, they used to call them. Well, finally, you know what's going to come next. I've got a lot of celery. As you can see, I'm just putting it right in. This pot is going to be full to the top. I can already tell. I hope I didn't put too much water in. And then I also have carrots. Everybody loves carrots in chicken soup. And so here we are. It's almost all full. Now, you're probably wondering about the parsley. There are different philosophies about parsley. Some of you tell me that you put it in right away. Some of you tell me to wait until the soup is almost done. So I think I'm going to wait until the soup is almost done. And we're going to put the lid on. And let me have you take a look here before I do at the raw components in the soup. You can see everything. I'm going to turn up the fire a little bit. And I'm going to put on the lid. And we'll be back. Oh my goodness, do you know that I almost forgot the salt and pepper? We're going to put in some salt. You have to be careful because kosher chicken has a lot of salt in it, but I'm putting a generous amount. And then I never use pepper from a shaker. I always grind it fresh. So here we go. Now I'm going to take my spoon and push the salt and pepper into the soup. All right, this is going to be delicious. I can already smell it. Can you smell it? In the imagination, at least. All right, I'll see you in about an hour when we put in the parsley just before it's done. Well, it's time to put the parsley into the soup, so I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to let that sink in. Meanwhile, I think it's time to make the matzo balls. Now, the thing about matzo ball soup and matzo balls is I don't really do it the way my grandmother did it because I have matzo ball mix. Maybe when you were younger, you used to actually crush matzah or did you use matzah meal? Here is some prefabricated matzah meal. So this is what I do. First of all, I take 2 regular eggs and I crack them into a bowl. Second egg. Next, I'm going to put in, first of all, I check that the eggs are kosher, that there's no blood in them. Next, I'm going to take some oil. I use canola oil. Some of you have told me that you use schmaltz from the soup for the matzo balls. That is so interesting to me, and it was probably delicious, right? In those days, nobody worried about cholesterol, right? So I went ahead and put the olive oil, the canola oil in. And now I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to stir it all together. I actually use paper bowls for this or sometimes glass, but just because it becomes like cement and it's really, really hard to clean. So now I'm going to take my packet of matzo ball mix and I'm going to pour it into the bowl. Well, special treat. Nora and Hannah are going to help us make the matzo balls. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Let's see here. Gonna come around so I can see what you're doing. Ooh. All right. All right.
Can I put it in?
Yeah. Chefs get to decide what size. I'm gonna take a look at the into the water. Oh. Yeah. Perfect.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Remember, they grow a lot, so you can start pretty small.
I'm going to make lots of matzo balls.
Is this your first time making matzo balls?
No, I make them during Passover.
Oh, you do?
I do. Yeah, my mom has a very special recipe. We make them very nice and fluffy. I'm sure these will be very good.
What do you think is the secret to a good matzo ball?
Love. I agree with that.
Love. I like it. I like it a lot.
Any matzo ball can be delicious as long as it's made with love.
That is so great.
Jewish house foods. Yes.
All right, after you put those in, I'm gonna look back into the pot.
Okay.
Here we go. How's it going? Actually, while we're looking at the pots, let's look at the chicken soup. It is done.
Wow.
See that? But I haven't taken out the stuff yet. Wow, look how delicious those matzo balls look. So I've discarded the parsnip and turnip and celery. I've set aside the carrots and the onion because I actually enjoy putting that back into the soup. And ready for it, here's the delicious chicken soup with the chicken still inside. Can't wait to taste it. Well, thank you for joining us on our matzo ball soup endeavor and extravaganza. It was really fun. Now we're going to wrap up with the blessings. Please join us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushani b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Could you please pick the key for Shalom Aleichem?
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A blessing about angels, a prayer about angels coming in and blessing us on Shabbat and then going on their way. And I think that prayer has special meaning these days because I know a lot of you miss being able to hold and touch your family members and people who were once able to visit. And so what we have in lieu of that, and Judaism has always relied upon it, is the imagination and memory. People can be with us and we can even feel their touch, even people that have been gone long ago, if we just close our eyes and remember. And so I'm so glad we got to do that together and that we continue to do it every Shabbat. It's my honor now to offer all of you a blessing now for the Shabbat, including Holden. I always bless my children with the very same blessing that I bless all of you. May God bless you and keep you. Yaher Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God gaze upon you and all of your loved ones and give all of you the blessing of continued health and peace. And we say, Amen. Amen. I think we're ready for Kiddush to make Shabbat holy. The candles make Shabbat start. The Kiddush makes Shabbat holy. Right, Mitty? Yom HaShishi v'aychulu hashamayim v'aretz v'chol tzva'am. V'aychal Elohim b'yom hashvi'i melachto asher asa v'yishbot b'yom hashimokomoto asher asa. V'ayvarech Elohim et yom hashiva kadesh oto ki vo Shabbat mikol melato asher bara Elohim lasod. Savrin Rabbanan v'Rabotai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho be'ava uvrason himchilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodeshecha ve'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. And now, the motzi. This week, I have a kosher sliced challah from the bakery. Yes, it's true. Now, normally we tear our challah, but this week I have look, at least it's not frozen. I think last week's was frozen. So here we go. But my favorite weeks are when we bake, right? That's really fun.
And he really wants them.
I know. You know what? I might have to be weak this time, and we might have to make motzi and let our own dog have some challah, which we don't typically do because dogs tend to eat meat more, but we'll give her a little piece. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz Shabbat shalom. All right. Hold on.
Okay, thanks.
Not now?
Nah.
All right. Well, let me say this. Now, here's a bowl of matzo ball soup. It's always a pleasure to invite you into our home because you live in our home, because you live in my heart, and you're part of our family. So from our home to yours, we wish you
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
When the sun has set on a Friday night, bringing peace into your home, families will gather all around singing Shabbat Shalom. Everybody sing Shalom. Shalom.